6 right now, and there's a lot of good things going on at times. At times you see some flashes with some guys offensively, and at times you see some flashes with some things on defense. But I like what I'm seeing right now out of the defense. That back 6 or 7 we talk about with the linebackers in the secondary, I think has played a lot of football. There's a lot of experience and savvy back there, and they're doing a good job. I think our D-line, we got a number of guys out, but I think they're continuing to come. I like the talent we have at receiver, although we've got still a lot of guys that haven't played a lot of football. I like the talent that we have out there, but offensive line and quarterbacks, we need every snap a team we can get with the quarterback and the offensive line. Those are guys that right now are still young, and that quarterback, it's important to have a guy back there that's got some seasoning, that's got some experience back there, and I still want them to keep coming. But I like the attitude. I like the way they're out here working. I like what the running backs are doing right now. I think Tevin King is finally full speed since I've been here after coming off his ACL injury, and it shows with the way that he's running. Kenneth Dixon's doing a good job. There's just a lot of positive things, but we're a long way from being the unit that we need to be. But I do like the attitude, and I like the way they're working together out here.
Coming into the spring, quarterback and offensive line were probably what you expected to be your weaknesses.
They are, but you look at, you don't have a center that's taking a snap, and all of a sudden you get out here in scrimmage-like situations and the ball starts going over the quarterback's head, and you're wasting everybody's time. I mean, you can't get anything done. And quarterbacks, they're 8 out of 10 plays, they look really good. But those 2 plays, I mean, you wonder if they're wearing blindfolds, when they're throwing the ball sometimes. We don't have the consistency that we need to have. There's some talent there, and there's some guys that are doing some good things, but we're just not near as consistent as we need to be. And this is the second year in a row that you're replacing 3 or 4 starters on your offensive line, and you feel like you're pushing straw into holes in the dam. You feel like you're just pushing guys up there. And I think that Kirby Wixon's going to be really good. I like the way that Trey Carter is continuing to progress and Mitchell Bell is continuing to progress, and I think that Brunson's got a chance to be really good, and Greenwald's got a chance to be really good, and Darrell Brown have a chance, but right now they're not as consistent as we need to be. But without a doubt, those are the question marks coming in, and through 6 practices, those are still the question marks.
I haven't been here since last week, but I noticed some shuffles on the offensive line. If you can just touch on some of the guys and what.
We don't have a lot of depth, and so right now I think we've got to cross-train a lot of guys, and we're trying to move. I think we've had about 5 different guys play center at this point. We've had tackles play left and right. We've had guards play left and right. We're centers playing guard, vice versa. We're trying to intermix them all, and what we're trying to do because we're not going to have the depth to have 10 guys, and we've got to play our 5 best, and I don't know who those 5 are going to be yet and what positions they're going to be in. So we're trying to move everybody. It's like tryouts. Everybody's going to get a shot at center until we find the guy that can step up and take that position.
Do you feel kind of like in order for the quarterbacks to start performing that the offensive line kind of needs to get set and kind of step one?
I think it's a combination of both. I think it's a combination of both. I think the offensive line needs to keep getting better, but I think there's a lot of things that you can evaluate your quarterbacks without that, and there's some things that you can't. So no, we've got to keep coming, but we're going to have to cross-train our offensive line because we're not going to have 10.
Last season, really, your receivers were another one of your weaknesses offensively.
Yes.
And you said that they've played well. Who really stands out to you?
I really like what Paul Turner's doing and the speed that he brings. I think Sanford C is a great addition. He's a big, strong, physical wide receiver. Sterling Griffin is feeling more and more comfortable. This is the first spring that he's had in about 4 years, and what he's having the opportunity to go through. I think Trent Taylor is really having a good spring. And right now, you don't have Hunter Lee and Carlos Henderson, but I think have a chance to be 2 guys that are going to get in the rotation quite a bit for us. So when I look at the guys that are out there, I think there's a lot more speed on the perimeter than we've had in the past.
I just look behind and I see, guys working, and just want to touch on Ryan specifically.
Yep.
I guess if you can go back to last year, the final game into the spring, I know you're only in 6 practices, but what have you seen? I mean, have you seen growth from him through 6? And what if?
I have. I mean, I've seen growth. Playing quarterbacks it's not talent and it's not toughness with Ryan. Ryan has some talent. Ryan has toughness, but playing quarterback is a huge part about making decisions. You've got to know what all 22 guys on the field are doing. I say this all the time as a receiver. I learned to run a curl. But as a quarterback, I got to know what route everybody's running. I got to know the protection. I got to know who's hot, what the front is. I got to know the coverage. I got to know, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into playing quarterback, and that's why I think Ryan is getting better, but we're not as consistent as we need to be yet. I think when you look at, we've got to eliminate the lost yardage plays, the sacks, the turnovers, those things that get you beat as an offensive football team. And before you can ever learn, you got to make sure you don't lose. You don't give it away. And there's a lot of games last year as an offense we gave it away with the turnovers that we had, and those are the things we got to eliminate. Like I said, 8 out of 10 plays, he's getting better. He's starting to get more dialed in. He's starting to understand it, reading defenses better. He's processing everything a whole lot faster than he has in the past. But we're just not as consistent yet as we need to be. But I am encouraged from what I see out of Ryan.
What type of added dimension can Paul Turner bring?
Speed on the perimeter, which is not something that we've had. He's our fastest receiver in the spring, and a guy we didn't have a guy that could run like that a year ago. And so I think he definitely brings big playability to the edge that we haven't had here in the last year.